I've spoken about possible reasons why efforts at manifestation may not produce the results you seek. One thing people are taught about manifestation is the need to be careful about the contents and framing of your conscious thoughts. Again and again, you're reminded that it's critical to stay focused on what you want to attract and not on what you don't want. But even if you can discipline your conscious mind to keep perfect focus, your conscious mind is not the whole of your personal consciousness. Beyond the boundary of your awareness is your subconscious mind, with content all its own. While the thoughts, beliefs, and memories of your life's experience do bleed across the boundary between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, these two portions of your consciousness sometimes contain different and even conflicting ideas. This potential for conflicting ideas and beliefs can interfere with your efforts at manifestation. The reason why such a conflict becomes a block to manifestation has to do with the strength of your subconscious mind. To illustrate the problem, let's use an analogy to describe just how easily the subconscious mind can block your manifestation efforts. Imagine the scale and power of the divine mind like the volume of water in all the oceans of the earth. That's quite a bit of water. Arising from the divine mind is the collective unconscious, containing the accumulated archetypes and experience of the entire human race. The collective unconscious is nowhere nearly as large or as powerful as the divine mind. Imagine the scale and power of the collective unconscious as being equal to the volume of water in the Great Lakes in North America. That's still quite a bit of water, but a meager fraction of the power of God's mind. Arising from the collective unconscious is your own personal subconscious mind. Imagine the power of your subconscious mind like the volume of water in an average household bathtub. A very respectable amount of power, but no match for the larger and deeper layers to which it's connected. Then we come to your conscious mind. Let's imagine the size and the power of your conscious mind as being equal to the volume held in a drinking glass of water. Now you can begin to appreciate the problem. No matter how disciplined you are about your conscious thoughts, if the contents of your subconscious mind do not agree with your conscious thoughts, your subconscious beliefs triumph every time. This is because any thought or belief in your subconscious mind has considerably more power behind it than your conscious mind is even able to summon. In this edition of the Temporal Reverie, I want to consider one of the most common diagnoses dispensed in response to unsuccessful manifestation efforts. This diagnosis asserts that a disagreement between the desires of your conscious mind and the contents of your subconscious mind can prevent manifestation. An inner stalemate that is commonly thought to require a tool for reprogramming your subconscious mind to resolve. If your conscious and subconscious minds are both parts of your personal consciousness, how could any such difference of belief come to be in the first place? One cause for this inner conflict that seems to happen quite often is reincarnation. Your subconscious mind contains not only forgotten or buried memories from your current lifetime, but also the accumulation of all the lives you've lived previous to this one. Our prior incarnations provided us with very different experiences from those of our current incarnation. Those lives were lived at different points in history, colored with the attitudes and prevailing beliefs of the culture at that time. Those remembered lives were lived with differences in socioeconomic conditions, differences in education, in political structures, different responses to gender and race, all of which produced a collection of life experiences currently blended in your current subconscious mind. It would be surprising if we lived prior lifetimes in ways that are highly consistent with each other, much less our current incarnation. There are bound to be differences in attitudes, sensibilities, and beliefs. Those differences can make it a challenge to align your thoughts for successful manifestation. There could be unresolved differences in your more powerful subconscious mind that keeps the odds stacked against even the most disciplined practitioner of manifestation. But even if you can't bring yourself to believe in reincarnation, another reason for conflict is possible. Studies described by Bruce Lipton in his book The Biology of Belief indicate that theta brain waves dominate the electrical activity in the brains of children from birth until around the age of 6. Young children naturally maintain the same type of brain waves created during hypnosis, shifting the brain into a state in which the subconscious mind is highly susceptible to programming and suggestion. The young child can't critically analyze and reject what could be bad information until after age 6. When we first arrive in the theater of experience, we're immediately overwhelmed by an avalanche of stimulus. Lungs experience their first breath. Eyes process a range of light intensity and color it had not previously encountered. Skin begins to encounter variation in temperature and texture. Ears are finally opened to all the noises of the world. The formation of the conscious mind is built on experience, which only begins accumulating to a significant degree after we're born. Without any conscious baseline for evaluating experience, the brainwave patterns of children indicate we come into the world starved for information. Evolution has put a high premium on the rapid internalization of sensory data so that we can form a conscious stream of thought as rapidly as possible. The brainwave state that young children naturally inhabit allows them to accumulate a large degree of information for survival and socialization at the most rapid possible pace. Studies of human brainwaves indicate that a great deal of the experience we have in the first few years of life passes right into the subconscious mind for storage and processing, creating some of the first, most potent, longest-lived impressions we hold of our human experience. While you may think a child is too young to know what's going on in their vicinity, the energy and basic impressions of everything it experiences is written into the subconscious, where it defines instinctive reactions to experiences later in life. Charles Darwin said, "It is worthy of remark that a belief constantly inculcated during the early years of life, while the brain is impressionable, appears to acquire almost the nature of an instinct, and the very essence of an instinct is that it is followed independently of reason." If the first few years of a child's life is filled with tension, argument, worry, and fear, those energies make a deep impression on a child, sculpting what she later thinks about the world and life. For all we know, the words that infants hear and absorb may wind up stored in the subconscious mind, where their meaning may be discovered later as language skills develop. As an adult, if you're trying to manifest healing for illness in your life, you may not be aware that exposure to the experience of a relative who died from cancer could have calibrated your subconscious mind to doubt that illness is something from which you can recover. You can try to think about robust health, but if those conscious thoughts conflict with subconscious programming about the lack of health, that healing may prove evasive. The same thing can be said of trying to manifest monetary wealth. If your early formative years contain potent impressions of poverty, those memories can also shape beliefs in your subconscious mind in ways that interfere with manifestation. To resolve such conflicts, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind to align your hidden beliefs with the conscious desires in your adult life. Since the contents of your subconscious mind aren't directly accessible to your conscious thoughts, you might not be aware you even have a conflict to resolve. You may be tempted to respond to manifesting difficulty by concluding that you have such a conflict. In a desire to produce abundance in your life, you might rush online to find and buy some guru's product that promises to rewrite the code of your subconscious mind. But if the reason for not being able to manifest successfully is something other than your subconscious programming, you risk wasting your money trying to reprogram what may not require it. Before you decide to pony up for whatever resource you feel will offer the best chance of reprogramming your subconscious mind, it seems wise to first be certain that your conscious and subconscious minds are not in alignment. One way to glean information from our subconscious minds is to study the contents of our dreams. People tend to forget the contents of their dreams very quickly after waking, so in order to explore your dream life for hints at possibly conflicted attitudes, you might want to consider creating a dream journal. What a dream journal basically consists of is a pad of paper and pencil or pen next to where you sleep. When you awaken from a dream, immediately grab the pad and paper and write down anything you remember from the dream. The act of writing down what you remember not only creates a record, the act itself helps solidify the memories before they can fade away. Periodically, review your dream journal to see if any recurring elements hint at attitudes that might affect your manifesting efforts. The problem with dream journaling is that the effort depends greatly on your ability to recall the full and detailed contents of your dreams. It's hard to tell at times which of the recurring elements reveal an underlying belief or memory that interferes with your ability to manifest. Very often, the contents of dreams are rarely what they appear to be at first glance. People, things, and events often require interpretation to comprehend completely. Unless you're skilled at dream interpretation, Relying on dreams makes it tricky to identify attitudes working against your manifestation efforts. Dreams can be too hard to control or interpret for many people. But the effort can prove richly rewarding, giving you deeper insights into your own thoughts. Sigmund Freud said, "The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind." Another way to gain some insight into the contents of your subconscious mind is to commit yourself to a journaling habit for a few weeks. Get a blank journaling book and spend time writing about how situations and people in your daily life make you feel, especially when your reactions express frustration, annoyance, impatience, and hostility. Over time, go back and review your journal comments, especially those that relate in some way to what you may be trying to manifest. Pay particular attention to the choice of words you make at that time. Studies show that while we believe the conscious mind is responsible for how we respond to events in our waking lives, the truth in the overwhelming majority of responses to our experiences are driven by the subconscious mind. Here's an example of how to evaluate your journal contents for possible subconscious attitudes working against your conscious manifestation efforts. Suppose you're trying to manifest more monetary abundance in your life, which is perhaps one of the most common things people want to do with the law of attraction. Since you're in this journaling habit, you hear this news story about someone winning one of those huge multi-state lottery jackpots. The winner turns out to be a successful investment banker on Wall Street who appears at the press conference well-groomed and attractively dressed. This story gets under your skin. In your journal you write, "Of course some rich, arrogant snot winds up winning the money, like he really needs it. Just chaps my butt that money always goes to people who don't need it or don't deserve it. Why doesn't my ticket win one of these things? I deserve the money more than he does." Because this entry is about the kind of thing you're trying to manifest, it's one worth paying special attention to. What do you notice when you look at the words in the journal? First, the tone conveys a lot of hostility, so clearly there's a lot of negative emotional energy that gets expressed when a winner of a big windfall is someone else. In particular, the idea that a surge in monetary abundance only goes to people who don't need or deserve it is especially illuminating. Because your ticket never wins a jackpot like this, you might conclude that since only undeserving people obtain the sudden wealth you want but aren't receiving, then you must be more deserving. You might ask, how can it be a bad thing to see yourself as deserving of wealth? Shouldn't you envision yourself as deserving in order to manifest such wealth? But the revealing information is that you subconsciously attach hostility to so-called undeserving winners. Two key points are revealed in that observation. First is the hidden belief that since only the undeserving win, and you believe yourself more worthy than those who do win, logically that translates into, "I'll never win a lottery prize." Second, the negativity associated with the actual winners, which indirectly turns into a hostility toward the act of winning the lottery itself. If your subconscious mind sees winning the lottery as a bad thing, then even buying a ticket in the first place amounts to asking the universe to set you up for a bad thing to happen. Your subconscious mind, seeking instinctively to protect you from harm, will respond to that attitude by resisting any effort to attract wealth into your life in order to protect you from harm. In that case, you've probably uncovered a conflict between beliefs in your subconscious mind that run counter to the outcome you're trying to manifest and the efforts of your conscious mind to manifest that outcome. Because of the more powerful influence of your subconscious mind, those beliefs will dominate. Uncovering that kind of inner conflict is cause to think about finding a technique for reprogramming your subconscious beliefs. There are a variety of approaches you can take to rewriting your subconscious messages so they affirm and support your manifestation desires. Let's take a brief look at a few of these approaches and the benefits claimed by each. There are a variety of approaches to changing the programming in your subconscious mind. One of these approaches is meditation with focused affirmations. A widely held conviction about how to change your subconscious mind is by repeating the new beliefs you want replacing the old ones. The key to this technique is focused repetition conducted within a meditative state. The more often you repeat a specific affirmation, the more your mind will accept that affirmation is the truth. This is especially true when meditating. When you combine the repetition of new programming with meditation, what you put together is a new belief that you hear yourself proclaim out loud in your own voice, along with a shift in brain waves into the theta wave pattern that opens your subconscious mind and makes it more receptive to the new ideas. There are audio files or CDs you can purchase online to help you combine meditation and affirmation to load new programming and ideas into your subconscious mind. Let me share with you a couple of audio programs that I have used personally to aid in manifestation. Dr. Wayne Dyer, a teacher for whom I have considerable respect, produced a CD titled Meditations for Manifestation. On the CD are 2 meditation audio tracks, each about 20 minutes long. The first meditation is done in the morning. It's called the Ah meditation because Dr. Dyer uses an ancient technique of chanting an Ah sound out loud as you meditate. The second track is used at night before bedtime and is called the Om meditation because Dr. Dyer guides you through deep breaths along with vibrating your body at the Om frequency while you express gratitude to God for all that you have and all that you are. I like this meditation for several reasons. First, Dr. Dyer employs practices developed long ago from long-established spiritual traditions and masters. Second, because the affirmations are formed in your own mind, you can change those affirmations at will and at no cost. Employ several affirmations if you wish to create more than one change in your reality. Use different affirmations on different days if you want. A word about framing your affirmations. Keep your choice of language positive. Rather than say, I will get rid of my excess fat, say my body grows leaner, healthier, and more physically fit each day. This is especially important if part of what you want to accomplish with your meditation is reprogramming any negative beliefs you have discovered. Rather than say, I will stop thinking negatively about money and monetary wealth, say, I embrace monetary prosperity as a means to improve both my own life and the lives of others. There are other meditation soundtracks that employ an audio technique called binaural beat frequencies. This technology places very low sound waves under pleasing sounds like crystal bowl chimes or rainfall. Wearing a pair of stereo headphones, the soundtrack puts a slightly different frequency in the left ear than it does in the right. This frequency difference is called the beat frequency and has been scientifically proven to change the frequency of your brain waves, guiding you into a deep meditative state without needing to develop mastery of meditation practices. Keep in mind that a soundtrack that induces a theta wave pattern puts the brain in a state that more naturally permits access to and reprogramming of the subconscious mind. There are various companies that offer this kind of meditation soundtrack for sale, ranging significantly in price, so it pays to do your research. Some companies even allow you to write and record personal affirmations in your own voice that are then mixed subliminally into the CD. This can provide a very consistent pattern of affirmation, but at the cost of having to order new CDs if you ever want to change your recorded affirmations. Another approach for reprogramming your subconscious mind that has become increasingly popular in recent years is called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. The theory behind EFT is that by tapping a series of acupressure points on the body, usually on the head, face, upper body, and hands, you use the body's energy system to open the subconscious mind so that the affirmations you recite can then affect the programming of your subconscious. Bruce Lipton and Wayne Dyer are among leading authorities in the energetic healing movement, say they have seen rapid and significant results from the use of EFT. One of the nice things about EFT is a given tapping routine can be completed in a matter of minutes. And there are many videos on websites like YouTube by people like Brad Yates, David Childerley, and Rod Sherwin you can use to try the technique free of charge before signing up for website subscriptions to access a larger library of videos that target a different range of programming concerns. While some people may have misgivings about availing the help of counselors or therapists, their clinical and more detached point of observation can be a valuable guide in helping you uncover deep attitudes that self-sabotage your manifestations. They can also suggest techniques and help identify strategies to assist in changing the patterns of your attitudes. For example, some therapists are trained in hypnosis, which can be a method both for discovering any inner conflicts as well as helping to resolve them. Hypnotherapy has proven useful in some cases in uncovering buried memories that themselves might reveal conflicts that disrupt manifestation. Some hypnotherapists claim to be able to perform past life regressions in which they can help you discover and recall portions of memories from your previous lives. If you believe as I do that our subconscious mind is formed by the memories of our authentic, eternal selves, gaining insight into those lives could indicate what within the subconscious mind might need reshaping. Some people find it helpful to consult various tools of divination to obtain the insight they need by tapping into more than their own subconscious mind, but into all the deeper layers of consciousness. I've spoken previously about how the tarot deck seems to me a bit of metaphysical technology that can be employed in just such a way. Not to tell you about the future, but rather to tell you about yourself. Others consult their astrological charts for this insight. Others inquire of the oracle expressing itself in the I Ching. If you embrace the idea of the subtle body and the chakra system in particular, you might find that spending time making sure your third eye chakra is open and clear is useful. This is the chakra of intuition and perception. As you reflect on possible conflicts in your consciousness, having a good energy flow through the third eye can enhance your awareness in these reflections. There are a variety of meditations and numerous yoga postures that are advised for opening and clearing the third eye. Of course, as a Christian, I also find prayer helpful during these attempts at understanding myself more fully and more deeply. I think perhaps it feels less frightening to ask questions of God about myself, my beliefs, and my attitudes than it can be to ask me directly of them myself. Christians believe that God is fully aware of the whole truth of our lives, even the parts we may never admit to anybody else. Perhaps it's in this belief that we can have nothing but honesty with God that we find strength to transform our most difficult truths. Perhaps more than anything else, the prospect of disagreements between underlying programming whispered by the voice of the subconscious mind and the conscious awareness within which we live suggests something crucial about manifestation. That something is expressed by the ancient Greek aphorism, which in English is "Know thyself." This saying was often a focus of the Socratic dialogues of Plato. One reading of these words is that we must first fully know ourselves, who we are, what motivates us, what needs we pursue in our lives, what we truly believe, before we can meaningfully know the world of phenomena around us. As prize-winning author May Rossoff said it, self-knowledge is essential not only to writing, but to doing almost anything really well. It allows you to work through from a deep place, from the deep, dark corners of your subconscious mind. This seems especially apt in the pursuit of knowing how to manifest well. But of course, the key to knowing thyself is the ability to look at yourself with complete honesty, but without judgment. This is certainly no small thing to do. Perhaps the most common way for human beings to avoid painful truths is to engage the incredible power of their consciousness to deny and self-deceive. Many of us find it exceedingly difficult to find and remain in a middle ground of honest self-appraisal when both the peril of overly harsh self-criticism and the lure of denial are relentless. But only by being honest with ourselves first and always can we know how to choose the things we think, that we say and do, and in so doing, make ourselves and our world that to which our best dreams aspire. Next time on the Temporal Reverie, we're going to look at the idea of sacred geometry. In various mystic spiritual traditions, specific geometric shapes are said to invoke awareness of divine harmony and symbolize spiritual truths and relationships. Might these different visual symbols be the icons and the keys to an interface with the divine? And perhaps more important than the shapes themselves are the patterns that our observation and study of them create in our consciousness. I often feel it's unfortunate when people approach manifestation as a goal to achieve of itself for chief expectation of gathering material prosperity. The more you experience from manifestation, the more you come to realize that the real prosperity is the discovery of how to be more in a full understanding of and in greater union with yourself, your conscious and subconscious minds, but also greater still with all humankind, and ultimately with the divine. I'd like to know what you think about this episode. Please leave any questions or thoughts you want to share in the comments below. My thanks to God for this chance to share with all of you, and may the gifts of love, joy, peace, and enlightenment come to you all.